This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about misleading supermarket packaging. Three, two, one. It's spring, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. That's a weird pause you did in between your
I know, I was just thinking that I always do it the same, and I'm like, maybe I should I'm just getting a bit bored of it. 160 odd episodes in or whatever it is, I'm getting a bit bored of it, I think. It's 160, 150, something like that.
Something like that.
But the sun's out, mate. It's been lovely. I said earlier today, I was like, this really gets me excited for summer when you see the sun like that, and brilliant. Just love it.
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody's
really
mood picks up.
Realise
you're actually going to be like, I don't mind going to work, and then be like, I have to walk from like Marylebone, Soho down Tower, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'll walk the tube stops instead.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone else has been enjoying it as well, which is good. So yeah,
if you're not in England, it's like 18. It reached 20 degrees today in London, and it's February whatever.
Who says global warming's bad? Who says global warming's bad?
It's unreal. To be fair, there was one guy that was going off on one about global warming in the gym today. It's not good. It's not, mate. Our February's like this. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely great. But I'm all good. Been a long last day. I had like 6 clients back to back, 7 till 1. Actually did some work. Then had to sit in a meeting with Josh for about 2 hours. Annoyingly, planning everybody's futures in London, and how we can spend
everyone in London, everyone,
all PTs, and how we can spend money, basically, how much money we've already spent. Basically.
It's always fun when it's not yours, though, right?
I know it's great. It's, what we then do with that. So interesting stuff coming up in the future, hopefully.
For you,
for me, yeah. I mean, we've got a budget. It'd be silly not to use it on ourselves.
Well, exactly.
Where's all this education money gone, Tom? Well, we had to go here, so...
We had to fly business class. My penthouse needs refurbishing,
I needed a squat rack. Where'd you put that? Yeah, in my new gym. It's right next to yours. Taking your members, and I'm training there. Okay. No, it's good fun. It's exciting times if you're a first-base personal trainer.
Maybe I should get back into it.
Just come back, mate. With that, if there's any trainers that are in London, look out for some days, because we will be. I'm sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's hit the press. We will be opening a new club in over the summer in Islington, and we will be doing some assessment days.
It's hit the press now, Tom. You've just told everyone.
I know. Everybody knows that. It's 46,000 square feet of gym. Well, not all gym, obviously changing rooms and stuff, but it should be pretty good. From scratch, we're building it, so it'll be sweet. But we will be doing personal trainer assessment days. If anybody fancies being a PT for us, then you might you'll have like at least 2 to 4 weeks induction with me, Josh.
Oh, you just put me off, mate. I was considering applying then.
It's unfortunate, but yeah. But we're all good.
I was thinking that the hour and a half commute might have been worth it, but actually... No.
It's done now. Islington, though. Should be fun. Be fun. Mate. Apart from that, working hard.
Just get ready for this weekend, aren't we, mate? Do you know what I mean? Finalising all the little bits.
Should be, we capped it now, pretty much. We reached our, 15, 16 we wanted. So, all good. Nice tight little group. That's generally that's the maximum amount of people we run on education in third space is 16 people. So we thought we'd go for that. It is about right. So yeah, nice. Should be fun. If everybody turns up, it'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. It's alright. Already paid, so you're good. We're just finalising that. We had even 20 minutes to talk about it before the show.
Look at us being prepared.
Not about the show, just about what we're doing on Saturday. So, reining stuff in. So it should be good. Everybody's, I think, is it 9 o'clock registration? 9:30 tight start in Canary Wharf, if you want to be there. So, get down. We should be...
If you paid.
If you paid, yeah.
Just people rocking up.
So... And then, we finishing at about 4ish. I did actually text Dan, and I was a bit concerned that we've written on too much content. So basically, we would like to make this into 2 days at some point, but I think we'll be able to rattle through with such a good group. in one day. And we can probably go over if we really need to. So if people got burning questions, or if they're sick of us, they can leave. So
yeah, if anyone who's coming as well wants to bring me like a can of white or purple Monster for the day, that'd be great because I'll probably need it. That'd be really nice. It'd be well received.
One day for me, you, and Josh just to talk at people, it's like ridiculous, really. So, yeah.
Those poor people. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I feel really bad for them now. I feel bad for them now.
Imagine that podcast just going over 7 hours. Yeah.
Just imagine how much they're going to learn, mate. Like, ridiculous.
Madness. What's been happening in your world, mate?
Oh, nothing, mate. Just, I hate saying this, but fairly busy. But, you know, hate saying well, everyone's fucking busy, aren't they? Everyone's definition of busy is different. But no, crazy busy. We've just done me and Mike have just launched our first training workshop. So, hands-on training workshop, 3 hours in Bath. And at the moment, only our clients are having the spaces for now before we open up to everyone else. So keep your eyes peeled next week because we need to speak to our clients this week about it. But we've basically got 16 places as well for that, and we sold 10 in like 2 days. So so there may be some spaces available, but we've got to wait until Friday till we spoke to all our clients about it. But we'll probably do a few more of those in the future maybe as well. So
nice.
All good, mate. But it's quite nice actually as an online coach to kind of bridge that gap. And obviously what we're going to talk about the weekend, it kind of helps seeing people and seeing them move and their technique and stuff like that, and being able to advance them on and things like that is good. So that's that. And then the YouTube video tomorrow is a must watch for everyone. Anyone who's interested slightly in the fitness industry, who follows any big Instagram accounts or any big Insta famous people, like you'll be able to, you'll just love it. You'll be able to resonate with it, and I just hope to God it's well received. We laugh every time we watch it back, and it's about 30 minutes of your life that I promise you will laugh. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Depends on when you listen to this, but tomorrow,
yeah, good. Maybe I'll come down to your lifting workshop, troll you.
No, don't, mate, because then there'll be someone there who knows more about it than me. Not good, is it?
That'll be fun.
Yeah, you'll be like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. No,
special guest. That'd be lovely. Did you see, calling on that? Did you see what Lane Norton's been doing lately?
No, I don't follow him. He's annoying.
He's quite annoying sometimes, but he's been doing like top 5 like worst offenders for like bad information on Instagram or social media. Like he's done a celebrity one, he's done a social media one, some crazy names he's been like absolutely just anybody who's wants to go and have
like what? Tell me now. You can't just say that.
Well, I've got to find the post again because basically it was a bunch of Lane on. Is he Dr. Lane? He is, isn't he?
Suppose.
I'll just write Norton. Probably find him. Norton.
Oh no, I see him now. Yeah. Oh, they're like Instagram TV.
Bio Lane, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. There was a
He's got Kino Body in there. I like Kino Body.
Yeah. Does Eric Berg, Paige Hathaway. Yeah. And she's the one that says she's got a booty but has plastic surgery.
Well, yeah. Well, fucking hell. Like, his missus hasn't she?
I mean, I went through, obviously, Jason Fung's the one that Mike McDonald goes off on quite a lot. He doesn't like him.
Yeah, he should be there, isn't he?
He's a mad. Is Greg Gallagher that's Kino?
Yeah, Kino Body, yeah.
He's funny. But the one that most people, I was like putting through the comments, because there's 698 comments, mad. So obviously it's touching people. But the Ben Greenfield fitness one. So we did a piece on him ages ago.
He's the guy that injected
He's the guy that injected stuff in it, and we were just like, "What are you doing?" But yeah, he's mad. Then there's like celebrity one. I
don't mind the whole like if you're calling people out for bad information and because
he's tagging them all and being like
like he's just going for that way now, isn't he? He's a bit, but at the same time, people call him out all the time. Do you know?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, he took a lot of shit, didn't he? When he left didn't he leave his? Oh, I don't want to slander him, but I'm sure he left his wife for this woman, his new woman, and his wife was pregnant. I can't remember. Like, might have been 1,000 reasons. I think he got a lot of abuse for that. I remember at the time. So maybe he's just getting his own back on these people.
Maybe, yeah, interesting.
I just don't follow him because I find him annoying. I think it's his accent. I don't know. But Lane, I'm sure you're a nice guy, mate.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I'm just putting it out there. Like
he's very brash on social media.
I'm sure he'd hate me, so it's fine.
Very brash would be his style. Yeah, I assume. Cool, mate. We got a couple of things to talk about today. Might as well. Yeah, so there was a BBC thing, old Beeb, I don't know whether is it a misleading thing, because Dan has just told me this.
Well, yeah, no, it came up on social media a few days ago.
I haven't even read it.
Basically, it was an article, and it's for once from BBC, actually a half decent article, basically saying that supermarkets are misleading shoppers on healthy food. Basically saying that actually a lot of foods that they sell that promote in healthy eating are actually really, really high in fat and not actually that great. In terms of like the healthier choices, like they have a vegetarian steak slice that's got a stupid amount of fat in it and like half the recommended amount of daily salt and all this sort of stuff. And they're basically saying that they're basically using these products as alternatives to red meat, but yet they have more saturated fat in per 100 grams than red meat does. And they were like, well, hang on a minute, like that's the bad thing about red meat, supposedly. There's nothing bad about red meat at all, but they're kind of, at least they're using that as a marker. At least they're being consistent with the shit information they give out. So yeah, it was kind of like, basically there's a nutritionist who's gone on there saying, look, there's nothing wrong with eating them or consuming in moderation, but telling people that they're healthier is misleading because they're not healthier.
Yeah,
and again, that's a good point to make. It's like, it's not healthier. Just because it's vegetarian or vegan or free from doesn't mean that it's healthy.
Yeah, and it will be down the aisle that says healthier options or healthier foods, healthier choices.
Yeah, and basically people aren't intelligent enough to know, so they trust. Again, like it's the way the marketing gets you, is that you trust it. They trust them. They trust supermarkets. They say that they're healthier. They whack a bit more on the price. Realistically, they're not healthier in the slightest. And the thing I find funny about it all is people always talk about like processed food being bad, and yet they'll happily pick up a vegan or vegetarian steak slice and be like, "Oh, it's not processed." It's like, it's processed. The whole thing, it's got a packet around it. It's fucking processed, you idiot. Like processing isn't a bad thing.
They grow like that, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Growing the ground like that. So yeah, it's kind of like, I think it was a good article to see that people are starting to now question it, and obviously someone's picked this up. But yeah, basically they were saying like, look, there's some vegetarian burgers got more salt in than beef burgers. Like, but is that healthy or is it not? I mean, again, salt doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but for some people who's really, really obese trying to make healthier choices, it's that whole argument of, well, actually they're not making healthier choices. I think it was really interesting. But I think it was like a 5 Live show.
Yeah, it was Radio 5 Live that are investigating, apparently. And they've got a couple, like a nutritionist lady on it, Charlotte Sterling Reed. Healthier choices sections in supermarkets are misleading. But obviously I swear all the packages have the traffic light system on them, don't they?
Yeah, but that's the point. Is like obviously a lot of them have got like red fat, but again, people wouldn't look at that, though, would they? It's kind of that thing of, it's in the healthier choice thing. You'd be like, oh, it must be healthy. It's probably healthy fats, though, right?
Yeah.
No,
it's the healthy fat stuff. Yeah, the thing with the traffic light system, I always find annoying that, because obviously I look at macros and I'm like, well, why they not put like the carbs? It would be really helpful if on that section they put carbs and proteins on it.
But the thing is as well, like they can't put a green or red on the protein or carbs, because it's like, well, what does that even mean? Like fat and saturated fat.
They don't on the calorie content. It's just white.
Yeah.
So why couldn't they just do that?
I think with the fat, I think it's to do with. I think the red and the green and the thing is to do with the percentage of the calories from fat. Is it to do with RDA?
Percentage of recommended daily allowance. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it would be related to the calories within it or something like that, but.
I think it's depending on daily allowance. I would have thought it's something like 10%, and it goes up per whatever. So yeah, so this so you got a vegan or whatever veggie, I think it's vegan, edamame, coconut, and lemongrass falafel. So half a pack, 230 calories, but obviously 20% of your IDA is 14.2 grams. So it's percentage of reference intakes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Still completely useless for most people.
Yeah, it's crazy. So 11% of your daily intake, well, it's going to be like 22% from edamame, coconut, and lemongrass falafel. Ugh.
I mean, just have.
That sounds awful.
Just have anything else. Just anything else.
Crazy. It'd only be like, but then they'd be like, oh, it's got good sugar. Only 6% of my daily intake of sugar. Cool. Great.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous.
But yeah, only 62% in that package. 62% of your daily intake of saturated fat. Good. That's burning them up. But yeah, I think It is misleading, and it should just be a thing by the supermarket. Surely it's their packaging, it's what they do, and they surely should liaise with some sort of nutritionist to be like, is it healthy?
It's just annoying because you can't, like we said, we can't really.
It's all about like
say whether something's healthy or not. Really, like I think veg and fruit are pretty healthy. Like people know that, but that's not got healthier choices above it, has it? No. And I think the most confusing thing for a lot of people is they pick this stuff up and it says per serving, and it's like, well, great, but no one's going to eat half a packet of that. They're going to eat the whole thing, like. So it's even more confusing then because it's like, well, yeah, technically per serving it might be all green, but if you have fucking the whole lot of it in one go, it's not healthy, is it? Like,
so here's a hypothetical situation, Dan. So if you were going to have a supermarket, how would you organise your shelves if this was apparent? So you've got these healthier options that are like vegan, blah blah blah. How would you start to organise them if you were going to do an actual, I don't know, healthy eating?
What, in the dream world?
In your dream world, yeah.
I do it based on calories. I would do it based on I'd have shelves of calories. So like the bottom shelf would be like the healthy stuff, which is lower than 200 calories a portion, and then all the way at the top, and then you'd have like 600 calories a portion, and then in the middle you'd have between 2 to 600, but then there'd be a 400 calorie break in the middle. So you just basically, if you were dieting, you'd be able to walk in and go, right, everything on the bottom shelves I'll have. You'd be like, yep, that, and there's no way that it can be. And then you'd have like the produce sections are fine because people know where they're at with that. But again, with the meat, instead of having like beef and chicken together, all the different types, you would have it based on calories per 100 grams. So you go in there and you'd have the chicken breast with the turkey breast with the white fish with the lean cuts of steak, and you literally would just shop in sections, and you have like a dieting section and a muscle gain section effectively. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I would do it. I think it'd help people. I just genuinely think it would help people. It would really help me. So that's why.
Yeah, 100%. How would you? So based off that, would you put the higher calorie stuff further away?
Yeah, and at the top, so people couldn't reach it, so, and you have to ask, "Excuse me, can you help me get this down?"
And then you get a condescending look from somebody in the booth.
Or
you're like, "You really want that? Are you really allowed that, fatty?"
Or what I do is I do the Ricky Gervais idea of it. Have you heard this one before? So Ricky Gervais did it in a comedy show once. He said that basically what they should do in a supermarket is down each aisle you should have like a cattle grid system where it's like down the fruit and veg aisle is the biggest gate wide possible. Anyone can walk in it. And then to the chocolate aisle you've got a really, really thin gate, like a really, really thin one. Only small people can get through. And he was like, fat people wouldn't be able to get through it, and they'd just be able to like look at it. Then of course you'd get you'd get chocolate, get like chocolate mules who go in and get chocolate for you, charge you a fortune for it. But it's a nice idea.
It's creating a job though. So.
It's creating a job, mate. Exactly.
Be fine, but I'd concur, mate. It's got to go calories, and then you've got to be based off portion or based off gram or whatever in certain either aisle by aisle or shelf by shelf. I feel like it's got to be aisle by aisle, and then I can track footfall down each aisle.
Yeah, the problem with aisle by aisle is then you've got like the refrigerator section, the hard freezer section. It might be a bit all dotted all over the place if it was just done on calories or something. You'd have to think a bit more.
But then I'd be like, if you want a higher calorie thing, you're going to have to go further away, like all the way down where the ready goods are. So in my Tesco, the furthest things away are baked goods.
Same as in Sainsbury's.
Baked goods are the furthest thing away. And like eggs and staple things are eggs and bread, and obviously the ployers you have to walk past the whole shop to buy a load of other stuff for your staple stuff. But we don't have a lot of bread in the house, to be honest, so it's not really for us. Eggs are fine. I just get them from a little Tesco. But yeah, I think staple is just chocolate aisle. The diet drink aisle or the drink aisle is the one.
Yeah,
that should be done to calories. Jesus Christ, yeah, it should just be. That'd be easy to do as well.
Yep,
so easy to do. Come on, supermarket. We'll come in and do it. We'll be fine. Started here.
Be interested to see what it would look like then.
Would be, yeah. If anybody owns a supermarket and want to try it, we can 100% do that. So there must be there's definitely sections of. Is there sections for low calorie? There's obviously sections with vegans and I don't know, kosher. And if you live in London, there's always going to be kosher and what's the halal stuff. There's always that stuff, which. I don't buy, but yeah, there's always that kind of section. So
I remember a lot of meats in London when I used to shop there, where they were they were automatically kosher. Like it was just like I had it on the signs of it, like any meat again.
I mean, we to like places in we went eating around Wembley Stadium, if anybody knows that. Like, there's a box park there, and if you go in any of the diners, any of the food places, they're automatically halal, all of it. And we didn't know this, and ended up buying Prohibition beer, and we were like, why is there no alcohol here? We were like, yeah, they don't serve it, they don't drink it. And I was like, oh, why? I was like, I don't want, I'm never coming here again. Jesus.
Yeah.
Why does this Budweiser taste really weird? I was really confused. Now I got a lecture on when me and one of the other trainers and we went to a diner that was all halal, and I got a lecture on what bacon is, because obviously they don't serve pork. But I was like, there's bacon on this one. It just said like chicken bacon. And I was like, does that mean? I was like, I kind of know what turkey bacon is. And I recognise that's a thing, but I didn't know what chicken bacon was or some other bacon. And she was like, no, it's it's just the cut of something. I was like, is it the cut of a meat? Is bacon a cut of a meat?
Is it?
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Is it?
I was like, I'm pretty sure you just say bacon, you think of pork bacon. Like,
yeah,
you think of bacon. So it was really confusing for me. But yeah, I think we should start that trend. Push calorie organised supermarkets. You could still. I think you got to meet them halfway. You can't just go, let's mix all the foods up. You just gotta go, all right, this is the fruit and veg aisle, this is the meat aisle, and then it's still going to be meat, and we'll just go.
Yeah, my idea is the best idea. Yeah. Of course it is.
Meet them halfway. Biscuit aisle, calorie. That'd be really fun. It wouldn't be fun. It'd be fucking hard, but like, oh my god, this goes there, that goes there. It's more than a 2-man job. Start it in a small one. Do a Tesco Metro and move the game.
Interesting to see, wouldn't it?
Very interesting. All right, we got another topic to talk about, actually, haven't we?
Yeah, we got another. I'm going to do a podcast first, Tom. I'm going to let you introduce this while I quickly just go to the toilet because I really enjoy it.
Brilliant! I've got to go through this,
mate. And I've got 2 seconds.
Right. So Dan pictured me was Dr. Mike Israel. He's a good lad, and we do like following him. And there's a lot of good content by him. He's a PhD, doctor, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. He does a lot of stuff with Steve Hall, Adrian Morris, those guys. If you've ever heard of their podcast, Revive Stronger. So he's part of that little crew. I think he's coming over in June, July. Some talk at their thing. So Revive Stronger. Steve Hall done a bit of a podcast on ours. But he was doing, I believe, some sort of row on his Instagram and got trolled for it, basically. And what row was it, Dan?
What road was what? King Street.
What row was Dr. Mike Israel doing?
I think he was doing a bent over or a Pendlay row.
A Pendlay or bent over row, right? And from the way Dan's described this, is his neck, his cervical spine, his neck. You know how deadlifting or whatever, it was in full extension, so it was going to be right looking up basically whilst he's doing a bent over.
He basically was doing his row, and again, it's something that I would probably say if you can avoid it. Like if you were teaching someone brand new like to do it, I would probably go, you don't have to do that, you can just look at the floor. But obviously it's something he's done for years of his life, because he's always trained that way. And but basically, like, the comments went off and people were like, he shouldn't be with his cervical neck like that, blah, blah, and not obviously knowing who he is. And he was like, hang on a minute, like, I've trained fucking years, like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to, kind of thing. And he's basically saying, like, he's never once ever had a neck injury. No one's ever injured their neck by doing that, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. And it just was, the comments were hilarious. All these, obviously, keyboard warriors being like, you shouldn't do that, all this, and didn't know who he was. And it's just interesting, because I think everyone's got a different view on it, about what they would prefer to see. And I have, as a coach, of what I would prefer to see, but at the same time I also know that it doesn't actually really matter. It's just maybe what looks a bit better.
I mean, I've been like trolled upon stuff like this before online. The old classic of your knees shouldn't go past your toes, mate. On like split squats or lunges or something like that. And then the person going at me doesn't realise, oh no, I've got a master's in biomechanics. I know what's happening there. It's okay. It's absolutely perfectly fine. We actually want that to happen. But yeah, the cervical, the caveat, especially with somebody who is so well trained, and you could just see that from looking at his Instagram, is you don't know what purpose. I mean, me and Dan have laughed about, obviously we've laughed about people's exercise technique on the show, And obviously we take it with a pinch of salt that we probably don't know the full story, but it looks funny from the outside. I'm not going to go at the guy and be like, that is wrong, you must do this way. You should be like, that was funny. But we don't know why he's doing it that way. We don't know the backstory. And also, one of the big things that I say to people who, especially people like Mike, is he's earned the right, and he's never had if he's never had an injury, it works for him. He's earned the right to do it that way, and he's trained it enough to do it that way. How a deadlift and a squat is not always the same for every single person. Also, if he's never had an injury, then there's not much going on cervically, like spinal through a bent over row or pendlay row. You're going to be a little bit of bracing. That's about it. The whole chin tuck thing, but we've talked about that chin proper tuck before, right? But
yeah. No, it was one of those where I think it was just interesting, because I looked at it initially and was like fine, nothing. Didn't even think twice about it. If that was me doing it, I don't think I'd want my head right up there like that. But each to their own kind of thing. And like he said in the comments, he was like, "There's no load going through my neck, no load whatsoever." Yeah. He's like, have a go at my lower back or rounded back or something like that if you wanted to, but it wasn't. There was nothing wrong with that. But he was like, but it's not loaded. You're being an idiot. You might as well be talking about the fucking wall over there behind me. Like, it's not doing anything. And it was kind of like this whole thing of like, why are you assuming you know more than me, for one, you know? And it's just like thing of, like you say, it's his technique and his way of doing it, and it's never caused him an injury. But like you said before, I think anyone can look in on a session and be like, oh, what are they doing like that for? That's just stupid, without understanding the context of a session. And obviously, if you see someone giving out shit advice and they can't back it up, then you laugh at them all the time.
Then you can laugh at them. But yeah, without knowing the context is very, very hard. So I had a conversation with an osteo today, and we've had some people like, I was watching like their session, they weren't doing anything amazing, thinking that, because within Third Space, me and this guy hold the title of elite trainer. No idea why. So we're meant to be people that are doing apparently wacky stuff or whatever to make our clients stay with us or whatever. And it's very misconceptual. It's like the fact is we probably do very, 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 very simple things. But it's the whole, all right, you don't know why that person's doing that exercise, for number one. You don't know why they're doing it in that technique, number two. It could be, and this is coming from an osteo, and he was like, yeah, I make some of my clients do exercises in shit form because the risk of them not doing any of the exercise outweighs them, like, basically not doing it at all. He was like, I'd rather them do it with slightly shit form and stuff that doesn't really matter than not do it at all. And that is going to be better for their pain, their injury prevention in the long term than me going, oh, this is going to be there, and then they're going to stop doing it totally. And that's the only way they can do it with their injury or their pain or their sensitivity. So, and I was like, yeah, that's come somebody with a medical background, and he's like, I'd rather them do that than not at all. Especially, but my Isatel is probably just like, I've done it like this the whole time. I get a sweet pump. This is what's going on. I want to look at what I'm doing, and maybe the main one with a bent over row. A tendency for beginners, I'm not going to teach it like that. And then as you get more comfortable, he knows exactly what's happening everywhere else. He can look at himself all he likes in the mirror.
Yep.
If you've done it for 30 years, then you probably sound.
And it's one of those things where you could be looking for, some issue in his form that's more important. For example, he wasn't, but again, it's that whole thing of like you just don't know what someone's looking for, and I think it's like I say, with someone who's so knowledgeable on the topic of training and knows exactly what he's doing, it's kind of a bit like just let him do it. It's funny, isn't it?
Very strange. Has there been throughout your career? What was the big ones that people were pulled up on as well?
People were pulled up on.
Or pulled you up on.
Oh, mate, my form's fucking quality, mate. The only thing people pulled me up on was the fact that I didn't have enough weight on the bar to do anything. I think that I think sometimes being or going through that phase of, I suppose people like you refer to me as a bodybuilder, I suppose technically I am in terms of what we're trying to achieve, is range of motion, and again, like thinking about the muscle that you're trying to use and looking at exercises as as a muscle builder rather than a movement pattern, and how you can have different ends of the spectrum for that. Like if it's a movement you're trying to improve, there might be slightly more end range, whereas if you're trying to just train a muscle through a specific range, it could be a bit shorter. And again, like different rep ranges and different goals of an exercise may dictate different ranges of motion. So I think I've been picked up on some things like that before, and again, trying to keep tension on the muscle rather than going through a full range and actually getting to the point where there's no load on the muscle. Things like that, maybe. Like I think we've had discussions about before. I think me and you probably had discussions about it before, and it's as long as I think the trainer understands the reason why they're doing it, it's fine. As long as they understand that, you know, if you're teaching someone how to do a movement pattern, it wouldn't be okay to coach them like that, then it's fine. It's when people go, oh, this is the perfect way to do it, and no one else can do it any different to me. Like, I don't think there's anything major. I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest change I've made with my training and training people was I used to be one of these people who's like, you can't train abs by bending them. It has to be all stability. Like, you can't move them. You know, you can't bend at the spine. It's bad for you. And then I think it was, I think when we obviously joined Third Space and getting to know people there and speaking to Doug, and he was like, no, the back's supposed to bend. That's what it does. Like, it bends. It's perfectly fine. And going and seeing him do things like that and go, oh, actually, maybe there's something. And again, being more, I suppose, bodybuilder-ish, it's kind of like, well, actually, no, you have to lengthen and shorten the muscle for it to grow and for it to get bigger and stronger. And, you know, you can't just hold still all the time. There's different aspects of core training, not just the deep, transverse abdominis, everyone talks about. It's like, no, mate, there's superficial elements to it as well. So that was the biggest thing for me, I think, that I've definitely changed, and understand, again, the benefits of both, but understand that you need both, whereas a lot of people still like, no, you can't bend your back. Never bend your back. It's like, well, some elements of your back are, like I said, supposed to move. So, yeah. Well, that's probably the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah, I think probably the ones that, believe it or not, I definitely did deadlift. I'm sure everybody did, with a rounded back for a fair bit of time, and I could lift more that way, can I? Yeah. But yeah, that is one that I kind of regret, but there has taught me a lot more about people's kind of pain thresholds and sensitivity thresholds for lower back pain, from kind of rounded back deadlifts or that in general, and where it's come to an acceptance point that without some sort of surgical intervention or some sort of drug medical intervention, some people that I train will always have back pain from doing certain things and certain movements in certain ways, and there's no real way of me getting around that, and it's just limiting the sensitivity of it and getting around that more than ever. That's one of the big things that I've started to look at, basically for lower back issues, and people going with rounded backs and realising actually we do train our back a fair bit. I think when it would have been rounded back deadlifts, and obviously not a good thing, but there's one person today who complained of a little bit of lower back stuff, and probably counterintuitively, for a lot of people, I made them do what is an augmented kind of Jefferson curl thing, and got them to properly stretch it out for like 3 to 5 minutes and really go for it, because they walk in massive extension anyway, and they're cramping up like kind of Instagram butt the whole time, and their back's just compressed, and that could be the issue. But yeah, sometimes a rounded back is not always a bad thing, and that's what's going to, like you say, it has to flex. It might. I'm not from. I realise there's going to be a load of like, is it Stuart McGill warriors that don't. It should never flex or extend. But
again, you speak to but all his.
I know Mike Boyle's that kind of stuff as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about that, the mobility stability model, and how it is a loose structure and whatever. But
but that's like Stuart McGill, his speciality lower back pain. 100%. If you've got lower back pain, the last thing you want to be doing is flexing your spine. But the point is that there's a point of your spine with a thoracic element to it where it's supposed to move. It's supposed to be mobile, and there's some lower back injuries that occur because of lack of thoracic mobility, right? And if you look at those sorts of people, I think they are also smart enough to go, well, yeah, if you've got a healthy individual with no low back pain, then yeah, you'll probably be okay. But because they always deal with these people, it's like, well, no, Stuart McGill wouldn't give someone sit-ups if they had lower back pain. I wouldn't. likewise, if someone said, I had lower back pain, I'd be like, right, okay, we need to think about how you train your core properly, rather than just go and do more sit-ups. Well, it's not going to work, is it? And it's that whole thing of, like you said, the pain thing is the thing that would change your view of exercise selection. Yeah. But pain-free, there's nothing wrong with doing them. And people, like someone like Stuart McGill, would probably be smart enough to know if you did sit-ups, that's not the reason you got back pain. Back pain could be because you're just generally weak, and all the other.
That's the big one, isn't it? It's like, oh, you stop deadlifting like that, but I never get any pain. All right, cool. So when do people generally throw their back outs? It's probably from years of standing terribly and basically sitting down, being inactive.
The whole body posture. It's not. There's nothing about like.
Obviously, it's constantly moving, and then just what sets it off is their inability to go through what would be. So the big one is like, opening the boot of my car or getting something out the boot of my car. And what is that really? What are we training? It's like, all right, they probably hinged at the hip and they've gone through some sort of reach. So they probably weren't able to abdominally brace with a load way away from them. Is probably the issue. Not that they couldn't deadlift properly. They probably could. Like their centre of mass is right underneath them.
Yeah, they brought it right close to them.
They're probably absolutely fine. But they were the inability to be able to brace and reach at the same time with like some sort of spinal flexion was probably their downfall, and they're unable to support that bit. So maybe we start doing that kind of stuff with them and holding bracing positions, which generally. I think that's the bugbear for a lot of people. It's like, you must never do that, or it's like context about everything.
For sure.
For sure, which is definitely right. But yeah, not moany, but it's it's definitely, it opens your eyes to a lot of people's training methods when you start looking at it like that. You take a step back and going, nah, that's not shit. That might be this, might be this, might be this.
There's one caveat to this though, Tom.
Yeah.
That's CrossFit. CrossFit shit.
That's one, yeah. Kipping pull-ups will never.
There's no justification for CrossFit. So. Yeah.
On that note, yeah. So the guy is wearing his cricket top for.
You know it, mate. Off to cricket, mate.
Cricket friends. Yeah, brilliant. All right. I think Dan has got to go cricket in at least like 2 minutes. So, have we got anything else to discuss on this show?
Nothing else to discuss, Tom. We've obviously got our weekend, which will be good, so keep an eye on our Instagrams for what goes down at the weekend. I'm sure we'll be storying it. I'll probably be on Instagram stories most of it because Tom's basically just lecturing. I'm just stood there like a... So, yeah.
Dan's definitely going to be speaking for at least an hour by himself whilst me and Josh go get coffee. And then,
that's the only reason I'm there. That's the only reason I'm going, by the way, guys, is they needed someone to come in just so they could have a coffee. So we got that this weekend, which would be... It'll be good. It'll be good to spend some time with you. I hate to say that, but it will this weekend, and obviously see everyone else there. I think that's it. Other than YouTube video will be out tomorrow, and as always, if anybody wants one-to-one nutrition coaching, you know where to hit me up. Instagram at Dan Biceps.
Mike wants to go. That's where they should hit up.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. So
now he's full. He wouldn't have space. You definitely have space.
Yeah, I've always got space, mate. Everyone's always got space. So yeah, if you're interested in that and you want to change your physique, summer's around the corner, as we've just seen from the lovely weather we've had, then let me know, drop me a message and we can have a chat.
Wonderful, mate. All right, I haven't got any other business apart from if you come in this weekend, we will see you and we'll recap it probably next week.
Bring your notepad.
Definitely bring your notepad. So many notes going down. All right, guys, we will catch you next week.